Alright, after you have added all the lab booleans, you will feel that the performance is getting really low. The reason for that is because it's trying to calculate all those booleans, and that's causing problem. Oops, what's going on with this guy? I think I have. Did I move it? I have moved it, or oops. You have to just go back through the history a little bit more. Anyway, so the performance is getting low because it's trying to calculate all those booleans. So I'm going to convert the boolean to actual geometry now after you're happy with it. To do so, just go to the boolean division, turn on the division. Sorry, subdivision on, and then make boolean mesh. This will take a while to calculate the lab boolean. For every start, it will be converted into a new subtool, and then a new tool will be created too. There's some warnings, but it's successful, so maybe it's fine. Anyway, so what happens is that after that, you will have a new tool called UMesh with head. For every start you have here, I have 29 start in this original model with labeling. The finished model will be having 29 different subtools. For every start again will be a new subtool. That's why I kind of like trying to, for every one I have before, I make them a start so that I will have exactly the same amount of subtools as before. It's just being boolean with new shape on it, as you can see here. Okay. Alright, so now you can see the performance goes back. You can keep the old one if you want to make some changes, but again, live boolean is really expensive especially when you get to a lot of stuff. But we can still keep adding new live booleans. So let's talk about one of the little tricks we can do to massively produce smaller details on some of the parts. For example, maybe let's see if I have an empty place somewhere. It's pretty crowded already. Maybe it's hard to find a good place to do that. Well, I'm not sure yet, so let's go ahead and create something else by going to the tools and create a cube here. I'm gonna make it smaller. Actually make it polymer 3D first before I do that. So I'm not making a new object to show you that. I'm showing you how to make a panel that has a lot of detail, and we use that as a lab boolean so that we can print in, or just use this mold to mold in a lot of details. That's the idea here. So I'm gonna use this square here. I'm gonna go for a insert a sphere again, make it small, and then duplicate this guy. So the first one will be subtract, the second one will be add, and the first one will be a boolean start. And I can use lab boolean now on those different spheres. Like I can have something there and push it in. So what I'm going to do is create a panel with a lot of detail. That's the idea here. Whoops, don't quite like that. You can actually go to different tools and just click on them to switch to those different parts actually. So maybe something like this over here. Maybe let me carve in some bigger panels, like using the sphere and drag it, or a circle should be fun too. Just have some fun with the shapes. Maybe not that. Oops. Turn off the W, or go back to draw if you don't want to switch it to something else to draw something new. So I'm gonna have this square here, and that sphere is showing up. So I'm gonna make this guy really small, and the other sphere also really small, and maybe also head away. It's really small now. Let's do this guy. Maybe I can position it over here somewhere. Alright, maybe something else. Okay, let me drag this out, holding down Control, drag it out, and release Control to duplicate one more, same distance. Okay, maybe I can also have a sphere shape. This time I'm going to use add to add a sphere here. Drag it in. Right. Basically trying to populate a detailed panel with a lot of things on it. Let's see what else we can do. We can use all sorts of brushes. Like here in this subtraction, I can use maybe a see, we should have those curve brushes, right? Maybe insert a curve. Maybe going in this way, going that way. Speaking of curve, we can actually have a lot of fun with curve now. Like, if you drag the curve out like this, right? You can, you can actually go ahead and go to the stroke brush, and there are a few more options in the curve. So you have the elastic. What elastic does is when you drag out from that, you can see it's kind of like trying to give you this elasticity happening. When you drag it out, like you can bend the curve in this really interesting way. Let me actually drag out from there so that it's connected over there. Right. Also turn on the liquid. Liquid will be more like tweaking things like a liquid. Brush is too big. Not that useful here. So two more options here. Elastic and liquid, they're gonna behave a little bit differently. Oops. Let me grab my sphere again and move it away. Okay. Anyway, so a little bit more detail there, right? Let's see what else we can add. Maybe we can add some of the actual in Boolean brushes. They're actually having the steps going in already, so I can position some cool stuff over here. And maybe duplicate this guy and drag it in. Maybe carving even more over there. Let's see, we can put it maybe over here, drag it in. I don't know, it doesn't feel nice. Try to do something else. Anyway, maybe that guy to here. And move it, maybe position it over here. Maybe not that deep. Alright. Maybe we just keep adding those things, right? So I'm gonna add something like this here. Also, add something like this here, like a little connector. Let me go to the add to here. This guy. Add something here, maybe below the sphere here. And maybe we can also add something like this over here, maybe above that, so it doesn't go all the way through. Right. Make it bigger so it does cover everything. And then I don't know, maybe something like this. So basically we use those tools to add a lot of detail to just one panel, and we use that panel as a panel to, you know, mold a lot of details on our actual model here, actual model earlier, right? So maybe something like this here. Let me create some really small details using the use the let's see, some of the curve brushes. Don't know what's happening there, so I just Control Z a few times. So I'm gonna go maybe from here out. Doesn't feel like correct. Maybe we can add something here. Maybe not. Shoelace. What's that? Not really cool actually. Kind of want them to be well together. Let's see if I can do that. I'm gonna go to the modifiers and well points stretch, so they are connected together, right? I just need a little tube going in here, right? Just to have some more fancy kind of like detail happening over here. So like that. Click on the model to finish that creation. I'm gonna manually drag it in. Like it's some kind of like module connected to another guy. And then of course I can go ahead and add something else, maybe the gun parts. I'm gonna grab this guy and add it in. Let's have a little ending. You see the idea, right? We just create a panel with a whole bunch of details on it. And then we use this panel as a mold. So I'm gonna actually make this panel a actual Boolean again. It's gonna be division turn on and make Boolean mesh. Division turns on means it's soft display will be soft preview, or dynamic subdivision. I think that's the D button, which is, I don't know what dynamic subdivision, this guy. So anyway, when this is on, the dynamic subdivision will be applied to the model, basically subdividing it. Anyway, so that's gonna give me a U mesh, right, with my models here. Oops, I don't like that hole, but maybe it's fun. As you can see, the Boolean is doing a very good job on creating, put everything together. So I'm gonna use this guy and then as an insert brush. I'm gonna go for a brush, make it facing me like this. Brush, create insert mesh, and say new insert. So it'll give me this panel here. I'm gonna go back to my model. I'm gonna add that detail maybe somewhere on the inside of this circle maybe. So I just need to go to the circle and insert a sphere. Make it really small. And then I can turn on the subtraction, make this sphere a new start. And then I can go ahead and drag my model out. Okay, and I need to of course rotate it in. You can see I'm populating the detail inside of the sphere really quickly, just with that. You can see a lot of detail being placed there. So if you wanted to, this is the next level of detail, right? After the things we can use the live Boolean on a one-by-one basis. when we reach to really small detail, we do this. We'll create a panel and just use that to create a lot of detail on these just at once, and then just duplicate that detail on all of the different things. So of course afterwards, like this guy, maybe you're thinking like, I don't really want that little corner there, so I'm gonna use this brush called TI trim brush, so I can trim out that little thing there so that it's not really there anymore. Oops. Don't want it to cut out from the circle though, so just no, oops. Can probably use a trim circle instead. Anyway, you just need to trim it out. As you can see, the trim will be trimmed that out and fill in a shape here, so that it's still valid as a Boolean shape. Alright, I'm gonna turn on local symmetry, mirror and wilds. Okay, now we have a lot of detail added to the inside of the circle. So that's another method you can use to, talk with your detail. Now that's gonna be all the details I think I'm gonna add. Maybe in the next tutorial we're gonna talk about adding where somewhere on the model, so that it's having even some more cool stuff on the model, so that we can really bring it to the next level of complexity. Okay, so see you next time.